Welcome people who have not fled into the sun. Very honorable that you stay here and listen to me. Thank you for being here. I want to keep it short and very practical. Last time I had the ambition to be kind of academic. I am not going to be academic. I actually have totally false information in here. You might guess which one. My name is Alex Kraemer. I work for AFB. I'm going to tell you a bit what I do and how I do it. If you have any questions at any point, just raise your hand, ask the question, and I'll try to answer it as soon as possible. I'm going to focus on us as an organization being in the value chain of 500 large companies in Europe. This is a very current topic. I've been running around in the ministries in Berlin and in North Rhine-Westphalia in the last 2 weeks. I'm speaking on this topic as the only small medium enterprise in Germany on this with Deutsche Bahn and Henkel tomorrow. So that's going to be, I basically took all the stuff I'm talking about tomorrow here to practice a bit. Sorry about that. Just to me, very shortly, I've been working in CSR management for the last 6 years. I started off, basically developing small, medium enterprises with a very social focus in 2007, while I was still studying in the University in Bochum, where I know Laura. Since then, I've been working a bit in large corporations, consulting companies, and so on. And since then, and since 2013, I've been running a CSR department at AFB. What I'm going to talk about is give you a bit introduction what I see as the next generation of CSR, because we are part of that. I'm going to talk a bit about what my company does, or the company I work for. I'm going to talk a little bit about practical insights, what we do all day. And then I'm going to tell you a bit what we add value in a larger context. And then I'm trying to bribe you to write a master's thesis or be an intern in about 5 weeks, if possible. So think about it. If you haven't left now, maybe you want to leave in 5 weeks. I dearly need an intern. I promise it's awesome. Next generation CSR. Just for me, because it's your second lecture, what the hell is CSR for you guys? Okay. It's like last time. What does CSR? Oh, there you go.
Well, for Referat, come to know it's just a department in any organization that sponsors, I don't know, sport clubs and stuff. So that's how in my personal life, I've gotten to know CSR.
Okay. So department for sponsoring and giving away money. Awesome. Thank you for adding something. You'll notice in a minute. What else might CSR do? Apart from sponsoring, giving away money, what are they there for? How many people are there in a typical department? Yeah.
Trying to have a positive social impact on your environment, be it something very close or something in a country very far away.
What, for example?
For example, either donating money to humanitarian aid, as we saw in the lecture, or having a positive impact on your local football club.
Do you think a nuclear power plant can have a CSR department? And can they do something positive? You're nodding your head?
I'm sure they can.
Would you think it's good?
Well, yes, I think it would.
Okay. Would you pay for it? Would you pay your electricity bill 15% more if they have a CSR department?
No, because I wouldn't want to get my power from a nuclear plant.
There you go. Then I did it last time. How many people have been to a Primark and have bought clothing there? H&M? There you go. I do it as well. Don't worry about it. How many of you have bought clothing from Hess Natur or Trigema? There you go. One of you? Do you know why? Why did you buy it? Yeah, it's one of the extreme versions of CSR is doing your business good. H&M tries to do good business. Primark tries to sell you really, 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 really cheap stuff, right? Maybe they're doing good. We don't know. I'm going to give you an insight. I've been working in this as a sustainability consultant for large companies. I consulted sports clubs, really dirty banks, and so on. And what the basic is, and what you basically went for, is giving away money is this philanthropic idea. I give away money, I save the planet. Here you go, $5, I feel good, right? Back in Bangladesh, I killed my workers, but you took money for your aid workers, right? So that's the basic idea. Then you got the events. Then you could do a bit more. Let's do like a charity day. Let's go to a kindergarten and take a brush and like paint it a little bit. That's like the next step, because we need money and we need workers. And then there's the next step, and I think there's a long time between that, where you start managing this sustainability topic in your company. You think about, what does it actually mean? How do we organize these events? What can we do beyond just giving money? Maybe we can invest money. Maybe we can invest in our people. Maybe we can invest in actually reducing our carbon footprint. Like if I'm a nuclear power plant, maybe I can think about where I put the stuff I actually produce as a solution. And then there's the next one. That's the version I was talking about, Kraemer, or GLS Bank. There are lots of companies, they build a small niche, and they found that sustainability in the core is very good. It's like Viva Con Agua, a company selling water. It's not really that innovative, it's still water. But they think about what they actually do. Kraemer produces locally. The t-shirts cost more. Hess Natur actually tells you that a t-shirt of 17 euros, how much money they spend on everything. No company actually does that, right? And the highest version of CSR management is this agenda setting, where you actually move forward and try to push a topic so that not only your company benefits from it, or your customers or your competitors get pushed into a niche, but that the whole system improves. You see it now with large corporations who actually say that they want to have a zero environmental impact, or there's, I think it's Nestlé or Unilever, they want to have a sustainable living program where everybody has food supply and so on. It's their core business, selling food. Many cases, lots of junk food. It makes you fat and ugly, but on the other side, you have food, right? So they have pushed this, and they want to go to a core sustainability and do an agenda setting. One thing of this agenda setting is that you find partners who can do that better than you can do yourself. For example, how many of you own a car? How many of you know how to fix a car? I don't have a car, I have no clue how to fix it either. I drive trains, but I have no clue how to drive a train, right? So I look for somebody who does do that, right? And in sustainability, there's an option of finding a partner who does it better than you can do it at any point of time. That's where social business comes in, because they're more efficient. They have more creative ideas, and they're a bit more focused on the impact topic. So they really focus on the impact, not only the business. So they're trying to combine it in an innovative way. And it's a movement. You can see that corporates are pushing into the sustainability part. I mean, we've got lectures now at every major university in Germany on sustainability management. So the corporates are pushing in there. And on the other side, you've got all these organizations, environmental institutions, you've got Doctors Without Borders, you got companies relying on lots of fundraising, thinking about what kind of product do I actually produce? Maybe I can sell it too. Like in about 4 weeks, I'm talking on a fundraising congress in Hanover on this topic. Because what we do is business, but at the same time we create an impact, a positive thing to our society. So these organizations who really think about how they can create a value for our society are moving towards a business model, not because they want to be rich and famous, they just want to keep on doing what they actually are doing. And that's the point where this social enterprise meets. And social enterprise is basically the idea that you combine business and something for the society. So it has a business objective, it's financial and economic sustainable. It means you invest in it and you make money out of it. You're not based on charity. If somebody gives you money, you only give him his €5 back. Like my company has an investor, we're only going to pay him that money back because we're not going to give him back anymore. Any profit you make stays within the company. My company made lots of profit last year because we're a good, solid running business. But now we're building 4 new locations out of that money. So we're investing what we actually made. Nobody is going home more rich than they used to be. Bit sad for the owner, but that's the way it works. And this because there are 37 different ways to define a social business or social enterprise. This is one where the environmental focus is very laid back. It's not in the focus totally. There are others where it's an environmental impact. Important is that the people don't work for free. They actually get paid, right? That's not very common in this societal impact area. Like I get a normal wage like I used to get at the consulting company. And what Mr. Yunus, a Nobel Prize laureate, how do you call him? Laureate, actually said, people have to be happy when they work there. This is something I'm working on at the moment. AFB. AFB stands for Arbeit für Menschen mit Behinderung, meaning people with a disability get a job. That's the abbreviation. Politically, totally incorrect, Arbeit für Behinderte, right? We're kind of changing that. We're not abbreviated to any political organization that might have the same abbreviation very closely. I get asked that many times. AFB is the largest organization within this holding group. We have a gemeinnützige Aktiengesellschaft. It's a non-publicly traded holding which has the goal to create jobs for 1,000 people, of which 500 people have some sort of disability, meaning maybe they need a wheelchair, they are hearing impaired, they can't see properly, or so on. We have 2 other organizations. The one focus on school equipment, and the other one is a profitable leasing company. But AFB is the largest, which I work for, and was founded in 2004 in the southern part of Germany, and was more of a passion project. I asked the boss today, that's why I nearly came too late, why he actually founded the company. It was really just, he needed to get rid of computers. He's worked in the computer business, in the really everything that stands in an office business for about 20 years. And he had a customer, and was a very large energy company, and said, Paul, got to get rid of these computers, just get rid of them. I don't care where you do it, what you do with it, just chuck them in a lake, I don't care, right? And Paul had one little problem, that he had to erase the data on it. Because if the boss of the company still has his personal files on it, it's got to be gone, and then they can throw it into the lake, right? So they tried to do it in East Europe. It's cheap in East Europe. It's good in East Europe. But the transport was very expensive. So they worked with a small little place for disabled people. And what they found out, that the people there, they were happy. They weren't walking on building little things, or have to take apart pens and put them back together next day again. They were now working in the IT business. They are big IT consultants now. They're working there. They're doing real business. They have a real job. They get a wage, right? This is nothing common for a person stuck in one of those workshops for disabled people. These people today still work in our companies. They are now middle managers. They have a managing position. They lead teams. Before, they were sitting there and calculating how many gummy bears is in a pack of gummy bears, right? And the company has grown in the last 12 years from 4 people to 252 people today. I looked it up this morning, of which 42% have some sort of disability, right? And it's not like them and us. Like, I work with a person who had a car crash, right? She needs a wheelchair. She was smoking while driving, not really good. Needs a wheelchair. She's in my department. We are on the road 4 days a week, right? We have people doing data erasure. We have people in our leadership who are disabled at some sort. And the company has already focused at the whole time, the whole 12 years, on taking back computers, erasing them, and selling them again. That's the whole business we do. Very simple. Take them back. You have a computer, you have a computer. Every one of you has a computer. At the end of the day, it's kind of, you don't want it anymore. Apple brings out the newest version. Get rid of it, right? You can sell it on eBay, but your data is going to be on it. Large corporations, they don't have one computer or two. Like Siemens has 120,000 computers. What do they do with it? At the end of the day, they give it to us, we erase it, and we sell it again. We've grown a little bit. We have now 500 large corporations as customers. We are still the smallest company in the market. I would say the one with the most potential, because we're kind of cheeky and naughty, and we're stealing big customers from large corporations. The market in which we are moving is very, very competitive. It's not about social and green and happy and doing with joy. It's about lots and lots of money. It's brutal. I'll tell you where normal computers go at the end of the day in about 5 minutes. Very special about our company is that we focus on the person. And I can do it with myself. I used to work in consulting. I worked for a bank. They gave us a lot of money. We put a bit of green of paint against the wall, and that's what I got paid for, right? It was a bit of a mental institution where I've been working. I met my boss, and he offered me a job. This position I'm now filling didn't exist before. But he said, I need somebody in my CSR department, which I don't have. And this is what we focus on. We're trying to find people and find a job for them. Like, for example, 3 months ago, I had a person starting in my team. He had a passion for international projects. He wanted to clean the environment a little bit. He wanted to really have an impact on our company. Tomorrow afternoon, he's flying to Albania to do some audits. And he's been really running this project very strongly. And we didn't think about that project before. And what he's done now is absolutely grand. And I'm going to tell you about it because he's done really, really good work. And he's really cleaning up a market segment and pushing us even further. What we do, with every device we get back from a large corporation, we actually can create jobs. So, for example, we get 600 notebooks. We can create one job for a disabled person in a region. For example, in Hanover, we have now the Otto Group. It's a large corporation. We will create 12 jobs. Because they give us their notebooks, we get something to do, and we can sell them again. At multiple points, we can make money, so much money that we can pay their wages and not actually just have to do fundraising or something else. And we do that with desktop PC, notebooks, TFTs, and so on. Like if you go today in a shop with O2, you find a box. If you put your mobile phone in there, at the end of the day, it lands with us. Yes?
So you said, okay, for example, you have the Oxford and you can build 12 new jobs. But in my head, so they give you the computers and you work with it. But like, I mean, they won't gonna give you computers every year. Or is it
No, but there's a routine change. They don't have one location. They got like maybe 12. So we start taking back 12. And that's why we have so many partners in different locations. For example, Siemens got 120,000 workers, approximately 110,000 computers, 30,000 iPads, and 55,000 mobile phones. I'm just picking out numbers. And they have to rotate them out. They got 35 locations in Europe, and they all come back, and it's a hell of a job. Their job alone, there's just huge impact. And it's a core business. It's not something we invented to create jobs. It's a normal, traditional, very basic business, what we're providing. We've spread out. We've been growing. Düsseldorf is not on here. It's coming in the end of the year. We're signing the rent contract. We are here in Mannheim as well. We got a little shop here. You probably don't know. It's a place for people who don't have that much money, who want to buy something, clothing or shoes and stuff like that. And we actually sell computers in that location, Sozialkaufhaus. We got 12 of them as well. And they're not on the map. It would be too full and you'd totally be irritated. We are working internationally. We're working in 4 core markets in the moment, but we are picking up devices in about 15 other countries. I'm currently project manager of our expansion to go to the Netherlands. I'm going there on Tuesday to find out if we can actually move there as well, because there's a big market there. Our business is so simple, we could do it outside very simply. We can do it in the Netherlands as well. We always thought we have an environmental impact because we increase the lifespan of a device. That was what we thought. We actually got a little push from the European Union to work with the Technical University of Berlin, who did a calculation when we get a device and erase it and sell it again, if it has a positive impact, and it does. And we can now tell the partners that every time we resell a computer, that a device somewhere in China doesn't have to be produced. That's why the pollution actually goes vastly down. Our devices are not the normal consumer product. We have very professional devices. You can throw them down. You can put water on it. You can throw them in the air and be happy about it. The devices live very long, but in the corporation, they're only there for about 3 to 4 years. We sell them to older people, so people who don't have that much money, on a very low price, but they can use them for another 4 or 5 years, and they still work. Like my device, it used to work at Adidas. I've been running it for 3 years. I'm not very friendly with the device. On the other hand, and this is just our third project, you talked a little bit about the value of impact. There's a large rating organization for social enterprises called Fineo. It sits in Berlin. They evaluated and checked us a little bit, and they said, yes, you have an impact. That's one thing we're talking about. And what we're doing now in Hanover, we're actually calculating how much social return on investment we're getting. Basically, how much societal value do we create through our mission? We have one master student in Hanover, fully funded. She's working with a large consulting company. She's getting a bit pushed there because they got lots of insights to really find out how much societal impact we have calculated in money. So at the end of the day, every euro you invest, you get €3 in societal value back. And this is what we kind of want to communicate. This is the first time we pushed it that hard. We've gave out nearly 150 of these certificates, which actually say, guys, what you do has a positive impact on society. You create jobs for people with a disability, and you save carbon, you save iron, and you save energy. And this is running really well. It's one of those handshake pictures you always see, right? When you give something into their hand. This is what we're pushing very strongly, because normally, and this is my core job, actually introducing the IT guy to the CSR guy, because they have no clue that they exist. I was in a large, big company on my second day at AFB, and my colleague said, mate, you can ask one question. If it's stupid, I'm not going to take you out again, ever. If it's a good one, I might take you out. So at the end of the day, I was really nervous with a big customer. I said, excuse me, sir, do you know your sustainability officer? And I didn't even say CSR guy, because that was kind of confusing. And he said, oh, no, we don't have that. So I took out the 90-page CSR report, pushed it over, and said, you should really contact him. Today, I'm in contact with them, and we're in a very good dialogue, and they actually use this on a quarterly basis because their financial reporting is now actually, they added non-financial reporting to their information so they can actually calculate what the kind of impact they have on the society. This is what we basically did last year. We had 250 employees, 42% of people with a disability. We touched or refurbished nearly 270,000 devices. This is really just devices. We've got lots of other devices we actually didn't calculate in there. We got 500 corporate partners. We sold the absolute most part, or a big part, to non-profit organizations so they can do more with that. We equipped schools, and we had an environmental impact. We kind of wanted to find out a more understandable version of what is our environmental impact. So we took an electric car. We said we didn't want to make it too green, so that's the one with the diesel engine in it, so you can power the AC. So it's the dirty one. But what we found out that with the emission we saved, you can drive 60 million kilometers. That's about once to Mars and back. You can build an equivalent of 9,000 of those cars, and you can charge them about 1 million times. So it's a quite big amount of environmental impact we had last year. Yeah?
But you said, I definitely see your point in where you're being, socially responsible and employing people with disabilities and stuff. But then you said you won a few really big customers, since it's, vivid competition in the market and stuff. I bet the provider before you also created a huge ecological impact because they did maybe the exact same thing, but
Which provider do you mean?
Or did they? Because you said you were sort of looking to acquire customers, and you're that cheeky little company that is socially responsible and stuff. Did the people or the companies before you, did they destroy the computers and not refurbish them, or what did they do? Because then if they do the same thing, I don't.
Basically, yeah, absolutely. Honestly, they do the same thing, but they don't hire people with a disability.
Okay.
For example, that's one of our differences. And what I'm going to tell you in a minute, they send 95% to Africa, and they just don't care what happens with it.
And where do you send it? Because I see
We sell it locally.
That elderly people need a computer.
Yeah.
But then I look at Siemens 120,000, whatever,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
many devices.
Yeah.
There's only that many people over 50 in Germany. At some point they're going to have a computer. And for each resold computer, I kind of doubt that in China there won't be the new MacBook produced again.
Yeah, of course.
New stuff.
Absolutely. We are expanding the market. But if you think about your grandmother, right? We're actually teaching grandmas how to switch on a computer because that's the basic problems we're working with those guys. They don't know how to switch it on, and they're scared to break something. They don't take a laptop in their hand and just kind of open it up and watch a series or something, right? They just kind of want to switch it on and send an email and talk to you guys because they don't live in Mannheim, they live in Hamburg, right? So we teach them how to use Skype. And I actually agree. At some point, they will all have a computer. In the moment, we have not got a problem getting rid of computers. If you go into the Kaufhaus in Mannheim, there might be lots. If you go there in December, the whole shop is absolutely empty, like the first 8 rows here. Apart from that, younger.
You resell in Germany?
Yes. In Europe. Well, France, Switzerland, 80% of our sales are made in Europe. I'm going to talk about the last 20% because that's a big risk part. That's why I'm here. I'm really focusing on that one in my management position here. But we don't have a problem in selling the computers because everybody needs a device. They can't all afford Macs. We talked to university students in Karlsruhe and tried to find out why the hell are you not buying used computers? We found out they're ugly and they're not got an Apple in front of it, right? In the moment, we're targeting companies with Apples so we can sell them to you guys. Right?
I'm sorry that I'm that skeptical.
No, don't worry.
But why did the other companies sell to Africa? Because the Africans
It's cheap.
pay more for the refurbished computers? I don't see that. Because then you have to export all that stuff. You have a huge amount of cost in doing that as well. So if a solely out-for-profit organization is going to maximize profits, and there's actually that many elderly people in Germany that want to buy that stuff locally, why would they export to Africa?
Because the cost of exporting 100 computers cost me 1 telephone line. I pick it up. Mate, do you want to buy a computer? Yes, thank you. We got one guy doing that as well, right? If I distribute the computers locally, I got a higher location, got a higher staff, I get certified, I got lighting, I got shops, I got cars. The impact of costs is brutal. That's why hardly anybody is running our system. If you think about it, we're running a pretty stupid system. We got high costs, running the whole system, actually selling the stuff into the local B2C market. But we are one of the only ones doing it because it works really good. We get high profit margins out of those people who actually don't have that money, but we're not selling them crap. We're selling them really, really, really good stuff. But we're actually not doing anything else. We could be car salespeople. Car salespeople have not thought about that they might have an environmental impact. They just don't say it. That's what we do. We just use this a little bit, and we push on it a little bit more. because there's a market for it. And we can do it honestly. You can go in any location. We got 14 of them. You can go in there. You can see people with a disability. You can see that we're working on reducing our environmental impact. That's what we do. But there is more money made out of export because you don't have the cost segment. You had a question?
I was just interested, how much do you sell on average?
How much?
How much is it? How much does it cost you to sell it?
Well, I can't, that's a good question. It always depends, right? My computer, 3 years old, 379 euros. I heard last year. I had to pay for it from my budget. So it's always, you can go on eBay, you'll probably find the same device. It's always a market price. What we do in our shop location, we give lots and lots of advice. We don't want to sell crap. We don't want to do a single sale. We want to gain a customer coming back, being happy, and really running the business. That's one of our core values, that the customer first. That's why we're going to Switzerland. That's why we're going to the Netherlands, because that's one of our customers on the one side, the B2B side, and on the B2C side, same thing. We have got lots of sales trainings, information trainings. Our guys always know a bit more than the customer, so they can sell them the good stuff. Any more questions on that one? But I get you, it's a common thing to think, why the hell do you do it, right? And who makes money out of it? And I invite you all to come over and have a look at it. I'm going to focus on the CSR manager a bit more, so you get what we're actually doing. And think about, we're already starting at a very high point because I have the base of 42% people with a disability. We have environmental products, and not products, but services. The product is not green. We're not saying that. It's shit. It's probably got child labor in it. I've been working with the ministries in Berlin, trying to find out if it does have child labor in it. My gut says 100%. What we're working in our CSR management, and that's why we're starting on a very, very traditional part of view. We're doing very traditional CSR management. So we established a management system based on a national code where we are the first social enterprise to actually communicate and say, this is where we're really, really, really good, and this is what we absolutely cannot do. Like on our environmental part, we do not have an energy management system in the moment. I can't guarantee you that every location at AFB has environmentally friendly electricity. We have not got to that yet. It's not part of that yet. We're actually focusing in the moment on the person, our employees, making them more happy. Right? I'm not allowed to say that. Satisfaction. Personally, I made a happiness index for every location. It's supposed to be called different. I'm too hippie on that one. But what we're actually doing here is positioning us as a company in a very high market. Tomorrow, as I said, I'm sitting there with huge corporations as a little tiny little social business and comparing myself and my work to those guys. And my boss said I have to be better next year. Well, this year. We're focusing on 4 things. Employees, so they're making them more happy, and making them successful delegates. Because in the moment, they're not all happy. It's a normal company thing. Not everybody's happy because the boss is maybe cranky or they don't get enough training or maybe they didn't get a car or something. It's normal problems in any company. So we're kind of focusing on that one, doing a very decentralized approach there. When I have a goal, I set that because I really wanted to push on that one. I want that all our services are impact positive, meaning not that we have 0 impact on the environment. I want that it has a positive impact, meaning we actually save carbon. We save energy. We do not use energy at some point where we can't have a positive impact on that one. So pushing that a bit more further. We talked about being a leading social enterprise in stakeholder engagement. This is more the investment project, what you call a bit more charity, investing, putting into the society. And we're actually doing that already because we're already investing in 2,000 non-profit organizations. And we're pushing on that one a bit more stronger. And what is very unconventional for a company of our size is actually we say what we can and what we cannot do. These are the focus points we're working on. And this is one of those reporting steps you'll see in any CSR report. Who are the stakeholders? Who are you working with? right? We have the market, we got our CSR departments. I want to talk to them because they talk a lot. I want to talk to the IT guys, they got a lot of IT. Internally, we got our employees, the most important part. But thinking about it, we got top management. They founded this thing, they got a huge passion about the company. On the other hand, we got middle management, right? We got the alumni, we got the potential, I'm doing stakeholder engagement in the moment, right? We got a support bubble, basically. We got one investor. We are thinking about opening ourselves up to more investments so we can grow even more. We got public agencies, consultancies, and so on. There's a huge universe of organizations and people having interest in our organization. And what we did here is focus on how do they push us, how do they reflect on us, what can we do or what should we do in interaction with those stakeholders. And what we actually thought about, and this is something we as a CSR team did not do, but our organization already does, and really fits into our focus point. I tried to focus it a bit more, because what is our core business? It's digital inclusion. Inclusion meaning involving people from every kind of sort, race, disability, non-disability, whatever, and the digital sphere. Right? So we have the multipliers, we have an education part, we got our shop and shop system, we built 13 internet cafes, no, it's now 21 internet cafes for refugees. We train old people. You see what I'm going for, right? It's a pyramid of lots and lots of things we already do outside, right? And on the other hand, focusing a bit more, what are the key topics? And what we did, we sent out a questionnaire to about 1,000 people who have some sort of association with us. Maybe they had none, but they had a sustainability focus. Maybe they were CSR consultants or CSR departments and so on. And what we're trying to find out, what the hell, if you see this on the left-hand side, what is important to you guys? That's what's our key question. What is important? What the hell should we focus on? On the other hand, on the lower bar, we asked the same questions internally. We had 170 people answering externally. We had 170 people answering the thing internally. And we found out, if you look at it in the top right corner, you see life cycle expansion. That's our core business. So we should focus on our core business. On the other side, resource usage, sustainable supply chain, and cooperations with suppliers. So very along the value chain. That's what they told us what we should do. So basically, we're focusing on that in the moment. And that's why I really want to focus with you guys on that one. And this is the story where the computers are made, right? Because that is an impact we cannot have in the moment. We can't influence. I talked to IT designers in Hamburg. I would guess none of them really make computers, design computers. They make components of that. We try to impact them. There's no big deal we can do. The designs are made all over the planet, but they're all sent to Asia, right? Mostly a little north of Hong Kong in a location. The components inside the resources, they are globally sourced. They don't come from Europe. They come from South America, Africa, Australia, wherever they could find stuff in the earth. They put them back to Asia, and they build the computers out of it. We do not have an impact on Asia. The devices then are put in nice boxes, sent over here, and sold to people, right? You buy a computer, you buy a mobile phone, and so on. So you use the devices. But at the end of the day, and this is, I have not found any sources, this way it's a gut feeling, but we know it from our market, that the most stuff, they close their eyes and send it somewhere else. It doesn't have to be Africa. I guess it's the cheapest thing to do is send it down there. And the problem is there, well, it can have a positive impact. The people can use it. They have education. They can use the devices. They're good devices. But the problem is they don't, in many cases, and I'm not putting Africa in a hole. It's a huge, huge country, and not in every country it's the same way. But I know that in lots and lots of countries where the stuff gets shipped, they do not have systems to take the things apart. The classical picture, a little kid with a lighter sitting there, taking about the copper out of the devices, right? That's a very extreme version. They might have systems, but they don't have them on a big scale. right? So that's one impact we want to reduce. And because we are part of 500 value chains, we said, okay, what of our impact can we really do? We can't have an impact on the design, we can't have an impact on the production, and we can't have an impact on the first use. I'm not going to tell you guys, please give me your computers, right? By law, you have to give it to another company. But we can have an impact on that when we get the devices. Data removal, refurbishing, second use, and recycling and urban mining. We can have an impact on that. We do that all. Do all that. So we said we will focus on that. We'll focus on Europe. So what my colleague has done now is build a system. He structured the thing. He structured the hell out of it, right? He analyzed. We got, and this is very focused on the B2B market. That's these 20% we actually sell to people we have until now have no clue what they do with it. And that's this market. It might go to Africa, it might go to Asia, they might sell it locally. So we built a system focusing on this wholesale market, what's a high-risk market, that there's a negative social and environmental impact. Right? This is really our focus. Because at the end of the day, if you buy a device at our house, you'll give it away here somewhere, to a recycling center, to somebody in the region. You're not going to put a little box and send it somewhere down to a different continent. So what we did, we built a very simple rules and regulations. We built a B2B codex. We looked at our internal processes very strongly. And okay, where do we actually make money? What happens if we kill some wholesale people? Will we reduce our profits? We talked to our boss. Would you actually consider making less money this year? And he said, yes. If we can be more honest, we'll do it. Right? So this was a baseline what we did. And what I've been to Poland and found out a company who buys around 30,000 computers from us, well less, far less. They take apart the computers, and we thought, oh my God, that's why I went. They're going to do it somewhere in the countryside. It's going to be awful. They're going to have like a little hut. This was in my head. They have like a hut, and then they put them in there. There's no data security, and people don't get any wage, and they take the stuff apart, and then they just sell all the components or just trash it and put it in a big pile or something. What they actually do, these screens, they're not always black, right? Just an example. They got screens that are white. And if somebody smokes, the thing gets yellow. You can't sell it to a normal B2C market. It doesn't work. And we think in my company that it's trash. But they buy it for some reason, large quantities of devices. What they do, they take off the plastic, right? And then they got the screen. And from that screen, they build new televisions, well, refurbished televisions. And those televisions get sold again, and they use them again for 10 years. And that's a story I really like, right? Because it stays in Europe, it stays local, it's an honest business, and it is increased the lifespan of the devices. The plastic gets sorted, and it's absolutely remarkable what they're doing, in different shades of yellow, and then they give it to recycling places, certified recycling places, and there's a longer story behind it, and it's very, very, very more sustainable than just selling it somewhere else. As I said, my colleague is now going to Albania. There's a big customer who always buys in Austria. We want to see what happens there. He runs a full audit check to see what happens. We didn't make it in his time now. He's coming back in 3 months. We want to put in some GPS trackers in some companies where we have the assumption it might leave Europe. So we actually know if it goes there. But the core thing is to work with those guys who do really good business, like the Polish guys. There's got a company here in North Rhine-Westphalia, and actually work with them, increase business with them, talk with them. How do you do it? What should we do better so your products are better, right? So your system works better. So we think on a long-term win, more partnerships, increasing usage compared to recycling, and really focusing on the development instead of profits. So we're really running on that one. This is a five-year project. And what we're always focusing, every half year, we reevaluate really those partnerships. Is it still working fine? Have we done our homework? Have we done our checks? We always have to rethink our processes internally it's a hard job because we're a small company, but we still got very hard structures. And what we're thinking about is actually making that public what we do. What I said, agenda setting. So that's why I'm sitting in ministries tomorrow on a podium with large corporations. We want to do this open source. So this what we built here, make it public so people can use it and do the same thing what we're doing because then they have a real impact. We talk about this on our website. Our website is not that good. That's what the next intern has to do. Actually talk about this project. And what we're doing, we're working with 2 universities, not yours, by the way, with the Leuphana, they're focused on sustainability. We're doing a large project on smartphones because that's a huge market. We've got 35 million new smartphones a year. I know we get 50,000. There's a big gap. We want more. And we're really focusing on building on that project. That's to our internal, external CSR management in the moment. Do you have any other questions? Schweigen im Walde. Okay. Talked about interns and thesis. Laura, you talked about it as well. We're currently really focused on our research. If it's upcoming, you got a bachelor thesis, seminar, work. I got brutally lots and lots and lots and lots of data. Way too much, I can't handle it. My team is very small. We only 3 people. I'm actually talking to our good old Professor Jan about that as well, focusing on sales. Maybe one of you guys is interested in it, focusing on how can we develop the market a bit more. I want to do a research on where does the IT really go? Because not even Greenpeace, who normally focus on stuff like that, have a clue where the stuff goes. So a very practical work that really can set the agenda because nobody has researched it yet. And on the other point, Technical University Berlin already rejected, but it wasn't that applicable because it was too abstract. How can we actually talk to our customers a bit more? So a strong sales argument again. That's on our thesis part, but if you got something where you think that could fit, you got a good idea, as I said, the value chain part, that's something else, somebody else brought in. And as I said, the colleague is finishing. I'm really looking for an intern, starting of May. And what we're doing now, this might be more interesting. I would like a feedback from you guys because we developed something. Because all my interns now are going to a consulting company to Berlin. This is total coincidence, right? This is always the second guy who went to one of the leading CSR consultancies in Berlin, right? And they go work for the government and Angela Merkel and stuff like that, right? They're really good. So we professionalize this. We say, okay, we'll just look for 2 interns together, right? One of the interns starts with us, the other one starts with the consulting company. And after 3 months, we'll just swap. We've been doing that anyway, so why not just make something cool out of it, right? So we'll do a change day, a bit of a celebration in Berlin, I don't know, have a fun week, we like to do that. And at the end of the day, you do an internship in a social enterprise in the CSR management, and you do CSR consulting, right, after 6 months. So that's what we're going to start this August. I know a large other company is trying to do it. They're stuck in their process, so we're going to be the first ones. Is this something you would do? Is this something you would not do? Would you do something else? Because I don't know if this is good. Is it the wrong time? Is August awful? Is that when you write your exams? Really? It's April.
Yeah, exactly.
Who has already an internship for August? Okay, 2. Maybe 3. Okay. Well, if you want to apply for one, just drop me an email. If you don't have any more questions, if you do, last time there were brutally lots and lots of questions. more in your direction, how we kind of enslave people and stuff like that. We don't do that much. I could get more money. Okay, if you don't have any questions, I'll wrap it up. Thank you for your time, and enjoy the sun. Don't drink too much.